Welcome to the Halliwell Manor. I'm Max.
And I'm Tina.
And we are here to discuss Season 7, Episode 1 of Charmed.
A Call to Arms.
Oh, good lord.
I know, it's a terrible title. It feels offensive. It feels at least racist adjacent.
Okay, yeah, so as our general precursor to all things Charmed and race-related, we are very unqualified to talk about this, but yeah, this episode has I want to say, completely unnecessary subplot that invokes Hindu gods. I did no research into this, so I have no idea how accurate it is. I'm assuming not very, but I don't know, so maybe they did do their research.
Who knows? Not us.
Yeah. It's not an area I've got a lot of knowledge in, so...
You're right, that plot could just, lift right out.
Yeah, it's, 7 minutes out of the episode?
But it's weird, because if not for that plot, what would you say the plot of this episode is?
It's a Barbus plot.
Okay, so you would say that the plot is Barbus trying to manipulate Leo into killing an elder.
Yeah. Because that's
the
plot.
That's what happens.
The whole Piper and Leo thing... The whole Piper and Leo getting possessed by gods thing has almost no effect on the plot whatsoever. It barely matters.
It's just that I feel like everything that happens in this episode is secondary to something else, but I couldn't tell you what it was secondary to.
I would say that the main plot in this episode is Leo and Barbus being tempted by this mysterious floating head thingy.
Okay, that makes sense.
It's the avatars.
I was just about to ask if we're just going to call them the avatars.
It's the avatars, yeah. We're not going to be coy about this. It's the fucking avatars. I feel like we've been pretty not interested in not spoiling stuff. This is Charmed. You know what the deal is. This isn't our Once Upon a Time podcast where we bleep stuff out.
Although even then, I was mostly doing that for comedic effect.
Yeah, But yeah, no, it's the avatars. Remember those guys? They kind of worked. Actually, they kind of directly resulted in Cole's death, didn't they? Because they reverted him to a time before he was the source.
Mm-hmm. Now, the avatars exist outside of good and evil.
So we're gonna get into it.
I'm only bringing that up because I made so many notes of places in this episode where I felt like they were foreshadowing what the avatars are.
And again, I just mentioned, they were already introduced. We already know what their general deal is. They're this collective that gathers power that exists outside of the, as Evil Future Wyatt would say, morrows of good and evil. I can't quite do his bad British accent, but my bad British accent.
You have your own bad British accent, yes.
But, yeah, their whole thing is that there's just they're the neutral planet from Futurama. What fills the heart of a man with neutrality?
Yes.
Which is fine, especially in a show like Charmed, where good and evil are things that you are and not what you do. You can just be neutral. Your actions don't affect it one way or the other.
Right, it's like neutral Janet in The Good Place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is kind of an odd concept that we, as a culture, are fascinated with. I know 2 examples isn't a lot, but the neutral planet from Futurama, neutral Janet, Dungeons and Dragons having a neutral alignment.
Yeah.
It is kind of an interesting idea that there's something that's not good or evil. It's just nothing moral-wise.
I think because as humans, it's easier to comprehend being good or evil than being neutral. That's why we're fascinated with it.
Also, neutrality tends to aid evil. Let's be frank about that.
I mean, Howard Zinn's memoir is famously entitled "You Can't Be Neutral on a Moving Train."
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
so what is true neutrality, right?
The avatars are theoretically one of the more interesting things Charmed ever tries, but with Gideon, it kind of never it never fully turns into something good.
Well, that makes sense, right?
Yeah. It's weird because I love Charmed a lot, but I feel like I don't have illusions about it being a particularly good show. It is a fun show.
Yeah, those are the best kind to talk about.
Although the Avatar stuff will quickly get boring as shit.
I mean, is this not the reason that you're opposed to doing a magician's podcast?
Yeah, it's just a genuinely good show. What are we going to talk about? How genuinely good it is? Wow,
Yeah.
everyone sure is good at acting, and the
Yeah.
writing sure fits together in a logical and consistent way.
Hey, everybody, at Max on Blue Sky, if you want us to do Welcome to Break Bills.
I really like how one thing leads into another and then stuff gets resolved. It's narratively satisfying. See, I'm talking sarcastically, but you know.
Everybody at Max, okay? All right, let's get
Plus,
into.
it'll give you lots of opportunities to talk about how much you love the second Magician's book.
Okay, I feel weird right now because it's the third one that I hate.
Really?
We have talked about this so many times.
Even on podcasts, I think.
Yeah, because it's so boring. And the thing is, I know that's what they're going for, and Lev Grossman. I know that's what he's going for, and he succeeded, but man.
Okay, I'm going to be honest. I mostly just remember the heist part of that book, which is a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm. I mean, so much of the book, though, other than the heist, is just about a man who has graduated and does not need to work for the rest of his life and has been banished from the one thing that he wanted, wandering around trying to figure out what to do with his life. Like, that's the book.
I mean, that's kind of funny because I always think of the second book as the more meandering one. Like, Julia has a more interesting story until the twist that hits in it.
I mean, well, the second one is the one that brings in Julia's point of view, and I feel like that's important in the books.
Yeah, but the Quentin stuff is so boring.
Who even cares about Quentin, though?
Yeah.
Are you sure you don't want to do Welcome to Break Bills?
Well, I think that would require, at least on my part, rereading the books. I'm not sure how up for that you are.
I'm up for it!
Okay. I do genuinely like the first one. Quentin is, yes, a very shitty person, but it works for the narrative. You don't need to have a protagonist that's likable. I'm sorry, speaking of Charmed. Oh my god, should we talk about the preview actually before getting into the episode? Because the preview doesn't mention any of the main fucking plots at all.
The preview is just focused on special guest star, premonition.
Yeah.
Special guest star Nick Lachey of 98 Degrees.
If you watched the preview, you would just be like, oh, so this episode is about Phoebe getting a new love interest, and also Piper has multiple arms in one shot, and we don't acknowledge it at all.
What's really weird is that even though this love interest is obviously supposed to, be a viable option, they did not give him a C name.
I don't think we were ever supposed to think he was a viable option. I mean, he's so stunt casty.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
She's not going to end up with 98 Degrees as Nick Lachey. That was what he was from,
Yeah,
right?
uh-huh.
98 Degrees.
Yeah, because Love is Blind didn't exist yet.
Oh my god, yeah. His whole thing is just doing love reality shows with his second wife.
I don't know what number she is. I know
At
she's not
least
one because she's
second,
not
yeah.
Jessica Simpson.
Yeah.
What's funny is, he and Jessica Simpson had a reality show together right after they got married when they were newlyweds. Specifically because, and this is, my god, y'all, the late 90s were so gross. Okay, specifically because she was so publicly staying a virgin until she got married.
Oh my god.
Busy Phillips' character in Girls Five Eva is loosely based on her.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Which you should watch if you haven't. It's a great show.
Yeah, Girls Five Eva, yeah. So then there was this reality show about the early days of their marriage. And I feel like at this point, because he did a reality show about marriage, he's like, I can be the marriage reality show guy now. So he goes on and hosts Love is Blind, but not with Jessica Simpson, with his current wife, who I think is named Vanessa Lachey.
Yeah. I think he's done a bunch of other reality shows
stuff.
stuff.
He has. He has.
Oh, we're going to have nothing to talk about during premonitions because we're blowing it all here. Oh, are we?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I was going to let you have Nick Lachey so I could do the other one.
Yeah, well, that's on me for blowing my Nick Lachey load. I'm so sorry. So
you know what's funny? I don't think I could, gun to my head, name a single 98 Degrees song.
Oh god, yeah, no, me neither. Like, it's one of those bands that I was aware of through reputation,
Yeah, like I know it exists, and
but
I'm sure if you played their most radio played song, I'd be like, oh yeah, I heard that on the radio / in the grocery store. But yeah,
yeah, but I mean, they have no Bye Bye Bye, they have no Backstreet's Back, they have no Bop. I mean, Hanson was technically a boy band, right? I guess they didn't have the whole hyper dancing thing.
well, and also they were three brothers, so it was like a whole different vibe.
Yeah. They didn't have the What Makes You Beautiful or Chasing the Sun, if you want to go a little more modern with your boy bands. That is respectively The Wanted, or respectively would be One Direction and The Wanted.
They didn't have the right stuff or Hangin' Tough. If you want to go old school, New Kids on the Block.
Oh my god. Marky Mark.
So it was actually Mark's brother who was in New Kids on the Block. Marky Mark was in Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch.
You might also know them from a hate crime they committed, which I feel like we should mention every time we mention the Wahlbergs, because it's really weird that they're famous after they did a hate crime, a literal hate crime. But, you know, they've...
Yeah. So we have been talking for 10 minutes.
And we have not even vaguely started this episode.
Let's get into it.
Okay, so we open on the Manor. It is several months after... Several months, right? I mean, it's hard to... 6 months after Big Chris has died. I guess nothing's been happening for a while. It's weird. I usually feel like there's a summer jump, but Paige is baby wrangling, and Wyatt is throwing stuff on the floor. Chris is crying. It's a whole thing. Piper walks in, I guess, a pajama set. It's very weird. They feel like very formal pajamas.
I owned that pajama set. It's not formal. It's classic.
I mean, it kind of weirdly looks like she's a housekeeper at a hotel.
You just think that because it's collared, but it's just a collared pajama top.
And it's got a little name tag looking tag on it.
I think that's just part of a pocket.
Yeah, I think it's a fake pocket too, because I'm assuming since it's a piece of women's clothing, the pockets aren't real.
So she comes in, well, Paige is basically doing all of the baby wrangling stuff, and she sees Paige orb the dirty diaper into the diaper genie, and she's like, hello, personal gain.
Why does personal gain only matter when it's Paige? It's not even a spell. It was a fucking active power. Those are a freebie, Piper.
I mean, Piper, you freeze things to keep dishes from shattering all the time.
It was like basically all you did in season 1.
Anyway, Phoebe breezes in. She's late for work, you guys.
Oh my god. How will the newspaper... I was going to say how will the newspaper ever run without her, but as you've pointed out multiple times, that's probably... Like, her advice column is probably the one thing keeping that paper going.
Yes. But also, like... I mean, I get that bosses want you to be in the office, and especially she has a gigantic office, so I would be pissed off if I worked at one of those little desks in that open plan office and this giant office belonged to somebody who never came in. That would piss me off. But I mean, she doesn't need to be there for her job.
She really doesn't. I mean, honestly, if I was that investigative reporter guy she was pumping for information on child murder for some reason, like, if I was that guy, I think I'd be kind of pissed that the advice column lady has a whole ass office and I have a cubicle.
Yeah.
Like, really? She's only been working there for, like, what, 2 years? I know that she single-handedly saved the newspaper, but...
Seriously, though, at least lets her get away with everything, as we'll see in this episode.
Yes.
Anyway, Phoebe reminds them that this afternoon they're going to a wedding, their friend Christy's wedding. Not that Christy.
Yeah, I know, but, like, you couldn't have come... I mean, I guess Christy's a common name, so whatever, but... It threw me, not gonna lie. Yeah, they got invited to their friend Christy's wedding, and Piper's like, I can't go, I have 2 babies. And Paige is like, yeah, 2 babies I'm taking care of. And by the way, they were invited, so no excuse.
She says she doesn't want to bring Chris because he's only 6 months old. That's how I knew it was 6 months. And she doesn't want him to be exposed.
2 months old.
Oh, 2 months old. Oh, never mind. I was wrong. He's 2 months old. I
I guess it was just a summer jump then.
I got confused because I was trying to find out at what age, because I don't remember from our own child, at what age you're like fully vaccinated and you can go out amongst the people. And of course, I don't remember from our own child because our child was born in March of 2020, so the rules were very different.
Yeah, our timing wasn't great on that. I mean,
On the other hand, there was no better time to be on maternity leave.
yeah. Oh, yeah. Oof. Also, little weird thing. Paige talks about how much it creeps her out changing Chris's diapers because she can remember him as a 22-year-old. It's like, I feel like you should be able to have that, distinction between these two. A literal baby and a grown man.
I feel like looking at him, it shouldn't make you think of Chris at all.
Yeah. Because let's be clear, this is basically a new person.
It's absolutely a new person.
He's theoretically not going to grow up in the dystopian timeline. Although, for some reason, I'm pretty sure... I know we talked about this before, but I'm pretty sure for some reason they established that when Chris comes back from the future of this timeline, he has memories from old future Chris, which makes no sense, but whatever. Can you imagine that hanging over your head for your entire childhood? Like, hey, Chris, before you were born, you came back from a future where Wyatt became evil, and you stopped him from becoming evil, so... Like, I don't know. It just would feel weird to know that was a thing. Or do you think they just don't tell him about future Chris?
I bet they don't tell him.
Oh, that's also weird.
It is weird. Alright, so
Piper is going to have to go to this wedding, and she's going to bring Chris and Wyatt and expose them to the world. And maybe she'll even bring Leo, if they can find him.
Alright, so Leo is...
Oh my god, it's the beginning of the Dark Leo stuff. I love it so much.
Leo is wandering around in filthy clothes, literally covered in soot, for basically no reason, trying to find Barbas to kill him. And Barbas, meanwhile, is haunting Leo, doing the, like, Barbas fear thing, where he's like, I'm Barbas, and your biggest fear is me, and how I'm going to kill your sons, mwahaha, and how you were betrayed by, the Gideon.
But, like, as Leo rightfully points out, that just makes him want to kill Barbas more. Like, that's not a thing where you can bring it up and destroy you with your fears or whatever, if your fears are just making him want to kill you more.
Right?
I love Leo's smud face of moral ambiguity. Also, Brian Krause definitely got in shape between seasons. Do you think they told him he was going to get more screen time, and he's like, okay, well, I'm working out, because he's definitely more fit. Like, noticeably more fit.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I bet if I had looked up his personal life, I would have seen that, like...
Oh, or do you think that it's like in the last season of How I Met Your Mother, when Jason Segel got really into shape because he was aware that the show was ending? Because Brian Krause definitely thought this was the last season of Charmed.
It could be that. Although, didn't he get divorced from his wife because he was having sex with Alyssa Milano at some point during Charmed?
Probably. I can't imagine he was having it at this point, but...
I just thought maybe this was after his divorce was final and he needed to look good.
For Alyssa Milano.
No, to like...
For betting. I got the impression from that one interview we talk about a lot that he never really stopped betting extras from Charmed, so...
Yeah.
So, yeah. Leo is on a self-destructive quest for revenge because of Barbas's part in killing Chris, adult future Chris, which, you know what, fair. Also, like, you should probably kill Barbas,
Okay, so both those things are fair, but I would say when it comes to killing Barbas, they've done it so many times and he keeps coming back, so what are we doing here? And secondly, he's so obsessed with avenging adult Chris's death that he is not there for his actual baby. And
which is the reason that... Which him not being there was the reason future Chris hated him at first.
Exactly!
So maybe, maybe just hang around the house. Barbas will show up at some point and you can just kill him then. Like, you've dealt with Barbas multiple times. Although, also, maybe they should try to do research in how to kill him more permanently because he does just come back all the time.
I just feel like a good amount of his time should be spent making sure that Chris and Wyatt don't turn out evil. Like, just be there with your kids.
Like, I know the Gideon thing was, like, the big thing that turned Wyatt evil, but, like, that's not going to be a well people stop going back to at any point.
Exactly.
Like, are you aware of how often your wife and ex-wife, ex-hand-fasting partner, and her sisters go evil? Like, this is going to be a thing you will have to deal with.
Yeah. You need to keep an eye on all that.
Yeah. So, Barbas tries his fear trick on Leo, and it doesn't work, so he blorps out. I love Leo runs up to where Barbas was, and he waves his hand in the air.
Yeah, like he's gonna run into an invisible Barbas.
Yeah. Barbas flames up to the top of the Golden Gate Bridge. This has to be on purpose, right? Like, he's assuming someone is up there, so Leo will get distracted by that.
No, he actually is doing this on purpose. He knows there's an elder up there, and he goes up. Somehow the elder is facing away from him and doesn't see him, and then he turns invisible so that when Leo shows up, he can be like, "This elder is lying to you. He's concealing me." And so Leo hits him with a lightning bolt.
I can't not see it now that you pointed it out. The fact that the green screen water isn't moving, it's very... You couldn't have found a video to play behind them.
It is very distracting.
Yeah, so Leo lightning bolts the elder, and the elder's like, Leo, the fuck? And Leo stops before he kills him. Why are you not in White Light? Why would you be on the top of the Golden Gate Bridge? Like, I know it's the set that they use for this sort of thing, but... If I was an elder, I would stay away from Earth.
I just feel like this elder is way underreacting to Leo's obvious breakdown.
Oh, I thought you were going to say attempted murder.
I mean, that's part of the breakdown.
Yeah. Yeah, because the elder's like, Leo, you really need to chill out. And it's like, maybe you should demote him? I mean...
Mm-hmm. Oh, I want to point out, though, this is the first note that I made about foreshadowing the avatars, because Barbas, when he's, stoking Leo's fear, says, good guys, bad guys, they're all the same. Because there is no difference between good and evil. And honestly, as we learned in the season finale last season, good and evil are different only in aesthetics.
Okay. So, Phoebe comes downstairs to where Paige is laying on the couch with a newspaper over her face and her feet directly in the camera.
Yeah.
And then it cuts to a different shot of her where you don't see her feet, and she takes the newspaper off of her face. I'm like, was Charisma again using stunt feet? Is that a thing people do?
I don't think she was, though.
Yeah, she probably wasn't, but it just feels like a really weird shot. Like, I know the newspaper over the face is supposed to be because Paige is so bored and overwhelmed by being Mrs. Mom.
Uh-huh.
But, I don't know. It felt like the sort of thing you do. What were we watching where someone had a really obvious stunt butt? I forget what it was, but we were watching something where someone had a really obvious stunt butt. And just the way this shot was framed, I was like, did she do that with her feet? Is that a thing? Do people have it in their contracts that you can't see their feet?
I mean, I don't think so. And in fact, I do think those are Rose McGowan's feet, because as I commented, I bet this is when Quentin Tarantino was like, ooh.
Yeah, let's get her for Grindhouse. In a role where, oddly enough, she iconically does not have a foot.
Yeah. Oh.
I really liked Grindhouse. The thing is, I don't think it can actually age poorly, because it's a send-up of, 70s schlock horror.
Uh-huh.
So I think that kind of automatically makes it unable to age badly.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Yeah.
Paige, though, as you said, has been being the stay-at-home aunt, and she is ready to get out of here and get her own plot. She tells Phoebe she wants to get out somewhere where men don't spit and poop on you.
Phoebe's like, good luck with that. This is San Francisco.
Yup.
Hey, what happened to your whole magic temp jobs thing? Did you just lose all interest in that?
She did. She did, in fact. All right, so she decides to call out Phoebe and tell her that the advice she gave was identical to advice she gave a year ago. And Phoebe is horrified that she did this. She's like, oh no, how could I have given the same advice twice? And, okay, I have so much to say about that.
I mean, how many different versions of follow your heart can you give to people?
Also, if it's good advice, it's good advice.
Yeah,
like,
that's why I got you that Dump Him shirt.
yes, exactly. It's almost always the right advice. And
especially if you're writing into an advice column or Reddit.
okay, and look, I have so many issues with him now, but I grew up reading Dan Savage. And he famously, when he needs a break, has a bunch of letters that he sets aside where the answer to all of the letters is dump the motherfucker already. DTMFA. And he just sets all of these letters aside, and then when he's, like, feeling burnt out, he just pulls them all out, and he just runs them all in one column, and it's just like, dump the motherfucker already. Yeah. Like, giving the same advice over and over is not a weakness. It just means that you have a philosophy of what the advice is. And in fact, I brought that up as an example, but, okay, only once in my life have I ever been blackout drunk.
Okay.
It was on tequila. Which also reminds me of a quote I read recently, which is, everybody either loves tequila or has a story about tequila. Anyway, so the only time I ever got blackout drunk, I was talking to somebody, and I, like, came to talking to her, and she had obviously been, like, telling me her problems, and I was giving her advice, and I don't remember a thing she said, but I knew what she had said when I, like, came to, because the advice I was giving was very standard Dan Savage advice, so I knew what the problem was because of the advice I was giving.
Yeah, like, there's a reason that relationship books... Actually, I guess there's not really good reason relationship books exist. They exist to sell relationship books, but, like, a reason they're popular is that there is a lot of stock advice that, you know, works.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, I mean, you know my self-help book that I want to do, which is just calm down.
Yes.
I feel like that's good advice in, like, 90% of situations. Just calm down.
The thing is, it is good advice that you should never give to anyone because it will only make a situation worse. There are many situations where someone should calm down. There is never a situation where you should tell someone to calm down.
Nothing will make someone less likely to calm down than telling them to calm down. Which is a shame, because the majority of times, people just need to calm down.
So, Paige blames Gideon's betrayal for why Phoebe's advice is off. Which is just a, you know, way to open the door for the elder to open and be like, well, not all elders are bad. Not all elders. Which would be the title of this episode if we still did that.
Not all elders. Yeah, he comes down and he tells them that Leo just tried to kill him. And he's not going to tell the other elders about it because the other elders have been saying that it's time for Leo to be recycled.
Yeah.
What a grim and ominous word for reincarnation.
Well, I mean, it's kind of not reincarnation. It's sort of just they set you back to factory standard. Like,
so what do you think reincarnation is?
Well, he's not being reborn. He's going to be like baseline Leo with no memories.
Oh, no. I took it to mean like he gets his spirit gets, you know, put into a baby and it starts over.
Oh, I don't think that's what they meant, but it doesn't matter. Whatever. It's a threat. And the elder tells them, look, Leo's gone super crazy banana pants trying to find Barbas, and he's gonna kill the other elders, and he's gonna kill you, and it's just gonna make everything worse. So you need to get your shit together. You need to get Leo into line because there's a new honkin' power rising that we're all gonna have to deal with.
Also, as fun as Barbas is, let's all be honest, he's not going to kill anyone. So, because he's terrible at it. So,
Well, he's not gonna kill anyone important.
right. So, killing Barbas is not going to make Wyatt and Chris any safer.
Which, I mean, yeah, I guess he's not gonna kill, like, a main character. And we all know nobody gives a shit about the no-name extras that get killed by demons every week, so...
Yeah. Alright, so up in the attic...
But remember, big honkin' power. It's all we know, big power is rising. Hey, maybe it has something to do with the weird floating head that's torturing Leo in the attic.
Yep, it's doing the Barbas thing where it's like, your biggest fear is Barbas and you have to kill him or else bad stuff will happen.
I'm a CGI head that's whizzing around. I have green skin and pointy teeth. Blah. I'm ominous.
So...
Piper comes upstairs and she's like, hey, Leo, screaming at nothing. Although, I'm like, why is he looking in the Book of Shadows for more information on Barbas? Everyone gets one page.
Right?
If you read it, you know everything the book knows.
She's like, hey, how about if you just told your son? And he's like, no, I can't.
Yeah. Piper comes in with Chris and she's like, hey, have you decided to not be crazy and come be like a dad? And he's like, nope, gotta kill Barbas first.
When you coming home, Dad?
Don't know when.
Speaking of Barbas, he has gone to the demon healer who we saw one previous time.
Yeah, it's weird that this guy is reoccurring, but not that reoccurring.
Reoccurring that one time we saw him and now.
Yes. So he's, tending to Barbas's Leo wounds.
What's weird is that he is cauterizing the wounds, like, with a hot piece of metal. Like, he's not magically healing Barbas. He's doing, like, legit medieval healing stuff.
Like, dude, you're a healer. Shouldn't you be more, like, magic healy? So the floating head whizzes by and it's like, hey, Barbas, get the baby. Get the fucking baby. And Barbas is like, do you see that? And the healer's like, no. And apparently I'm unaware that magic exists and people could just be like, telepathically projecting shit to you or something.
Barbas is so annoyed by that.
Yeah.
That he blows the healer up.
Well, as well he should be. Because the healer's all, I don't know, I think maybe you need to see a demon psychiatrist. And it's like, no, magic fucking exists.
Barbas blows him up and then he says he was a rotten healer anyway.
Well, I guess he'd probably have been, in more than 2 episodes if he was a better healer. So Barbas asks the voice if you're friend or foe, and the voice says neither, just go after the fucking baby. And it knocks him on his ass, and Barbas is like, okay.
Here's the thing, I love Barbas. I love watching this guy. I love watching this guy on screen, but he needed to be told that the way to get to the sisters was through the baby. Okay. Meanwhile, back in San Francisco, Phoebe glides into the office of the Mirror wearing a couch.
Yeah, oh my god, that outfit. Yeah, you will recognize this this outfit from the chair in your grandparents' house. But she walks in and Elise immediately starts sucking her dick. It is fantastic. She goes off on this speech about how you can be as late as you want as long as your advice keeps on making our newspaper look so classy and sophisticated and intelligent and sexy and large boob having.
She's like, we've gotten so many emails about that last column you wrote. It was so good. And Phoebe's like, but I plagiarized myself. It's the exact same column I wrote a year ago. And Elise is like, okay, what? So that's not an issue at all. There's zero issue with that.
She says, Phoebe's like, I can't plagiarize myself. It's not ethical.
What?
And Elise is like, Jesus fucking Christ, please do not tell me you were quitting over this bullshit. And Phoebe's like, no, I still want to be paid. I just don't want to do my job anymore. And Elise is like, okay, that's fine. I'm the chillest boss ever. I'm going to hire a ghostwriter to ghostwrite your column, And yeah, and Phoebe's
and you can
Phoebe's
and you can take a 2-month sabbatical.
and Phoebe's like, "Oh my god, I can't believe you're hiring someone else to write my column." And Elise is like, "Lots of people use ghostwriters, Phoebe. And if you're not going to write it, we need someone to do it."
I imagine all of the other reporters sitting in that open office bullpen being like, we came so close to having one issue that wasn't all about her.
I think they were like, we were so close to getting 2 months away from her.
Right. Oh.
So Paige is rearranging toys in the house. I'd say she's putting them away, but it looks like she's putting them on an end table.
She's gathering them all into one place.
Yeah.
So she calls Phoebe, she has a plan, and the plan is they're going to kill Barbas, and then Leo will calm down.
Okay, honestly, I've heard worse plans. And also, this is going to rehook up Piper and Leo, which I thought they already got back together last season. I guess it was
they did create a child.
Yeah, but that was a special, we're going to have sex because we're trapped in between life and death. But didn't it seem like they were getting back together? Although,
who knows? But the idea is that Paige and Phoebe will go kill Barbas while Piper and Leo are at the wedding. She's going to guilt Leo into going to the wedding.
Yeah, so Piper and Leo and Phoebe show up in the classic black SUV. I thought we saw the end of it, but we didn't, although it looks very shiny. But they're the rudest people on Earth.
Oh my god, they are so late to this wedding, and they're being so loud as they, right outside of it.
Yes, they burst in halfway through the ceremony.
Although I will say, if you're having an outdoor wedding, maybe don't have it right next to the parking lot. You're just asking for this to happen.
Yes. Piper gets a call.
No, she doesn't get a call. She makes a call.
She's checking on Wyatt.
She's calling Paige to see how Wyatt's doing.
Because they only brought Chris. I guess that's better.
Is it? I don't really understand.
Okay, so Piper starts off with a little light racism. Their friend Christy is marrying an Indian guy, and the
wedding program.
The wedding program has a picture of, I think it's supposed to be Shakti and Shiva embracing.
Yes, that is what it's supposed to be.
And Piper's like, "What is this? A wedding or an orgy?" They're hugging, Piper. They're sitting down and hugging. But
well, then Phoebe has to exoticize it and be like, but it's an Indian wedding that's supposed to be super romantic.
Yeah, it's
all weddings are supposed to be romantic, right? Isn't that what weddings are?
Yeah. Chris yawns, and Piper's like, "He's overstimulated. We have to get out of here." And the valet comically peels away in their car as she says that. And Phoebe's like, "Looks like you're stuck." Nah, 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 nah. Which Leo can orb. And also Piper can teleport. I know they shouldn't do it in the middle of public, but, come on.
Nothing that they're doing they should be doing in public. But Phoebe says she'll take the baby. They just need to go sit down and stop being so fucking rude.
Which, yes, they do. Leo and Piper sit in the back row, which I guess it's polite of them to not immediately burst into the front row, which is where I thought that was going.
Okay. So Phoebe's, back in the field or whatever, behind where this wedding is happening, trying to calm Chris down.
In a different part of the parking lot.
Right. When she is approached by Daryl and Inspector Sheridan.
Oh my god, she's such a big deal. It's Inspector Sheridan. She's comforting Chris, and Inspector Sheridan, Batman's in behind her, and she's like, "Chris, huh? That's suspicious. Does he have any connection to the Chris that mysteriously vanished out of your house?"
What does she think is happening? What does Inspector Sheridan think the deal is?
Okay, because her whole thing, she has a subpoena.
Okay, that's not how that works. She gives a piece of paper to Phoebe and is like, "Okay, you've been served. You have to come down for questioning." That's not at all how that works.
Yeah, okay. And she has to come in for questioning about Chris, the other Chris, the one who mysteriously broke out of jail, doesn't have any records, and died, but they didn't have a funeral for him and there was no body. And I'm like, well, how do you know he died then?
I mean, they got called out to the house when he died. The police got called out to the house.
Okay, I guess that did still happen, even though it was the good reality at the time.
Uh-huh.
But, like, they didn't see him die or anything.
Yeah, no, so actually my theory, because I spent a lot of time thinking, what is Sheridan thinking? My theory is that she thinks that Chris was an alias, that he was some criminal who was, staying with them and has now taken on a new identity and, skipped town, and she wants to catch him in whatever he's up to.
Okay, aren't there, like, actual crimes happening in San Francisco all the time? Why are you devoting this much energy to one guy who unsuccessfully stole a car?
Yeah. Also, I still am not sure what Sheridan is trying to imply when she's like, this baby is also named Chris.
Like, if you think the other Chris died, yeah, people named babies after dead people.
It's a pretty common thing. Oh, Inspector Sheridan.
Yeah, but she's like, 4 o'clock, don't be late, or I'll arrest you for something. And Daryl's been kind of standing quietly next to her the whole time, and Phoebe's like, I can understand you not helping us, but you helping her hurt us. And Daryl's like, I covered for your ass for like 6 years. Give me a break. She has nothing. And Phoebe's like, magic exists, Daryl, and you know it, and you have to pick a side at some point. And Inspector Sheridan is like, I am 3 feet away from this conversation.
Okay, that is true, but I also marked that down as another Avatar foreshadowing. When she's like, Daryl, eventually you're going to have to choose a side. Because the whole point of the Avatars is like, hey, third option, you don't have to choose a side. Okay, so at the wedding, which, by the way, I'm sorry, as we're getting a crowd shot of the wedding, I'm just realizing that all of the extras are, like, beautiful women. That's unrelated to anything. I'm just like, this looks like a model casting call.
It really does.
But anyway, the officiant at the wedding is, like, calling on the spirits of love or whatever.
The divine power of love.
And because there are actual witches in the audience, the gods find a home inside of Leo and Piper, and now they are possessed by
Shakti and Shiva.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So the sparkly lights that are the god powers, I guess, after the guy invokes them, the sparkly lights show up. Phoebe and Leo very conspicuously point out that they are the only ones at the wedding that can see them. They go into the two of them, and Piper sprouts two extra sets of arms. Oh my god,
all of her arms have the same wrist tattoo.
Well, sometimes, depending on whether or not it's Holly Marie Combs' arms doubled in post, or if
somebody's standing behind her doing that exercise you do in acting class.
Yeah.
Oh.
So Phoebe, they're back at home. Piper is wearing a Indian dress, and she's got a bunch of extra arms. And
she's the perfect mother goddess now, right? Because she can cook and take care of both babies and grab Leo's ass with all of her arms.
And Alyssa Milano is doing the Home Alone face to demonstrate how shocked she is at the situation. Also, Leo's wearing a different outfit.
Oh, to be clear, she's not shocked that her sister and brother-in-law, ex-brother-in-law, are possessed by gods. She's shocked that Piper is showing a sexual interest in Leo.
Good lord. So, Phoebe sends Paige upstairs to look up Hindu spirits in the Book of Shadows, and she gets a call from Elise because something can't not be about work for 15 seconds. Elise is hiring a ghostwriter to ghostwrite for her while she's on her vacation or whatever, her sabbatical. It's Leslie last name. So, you'll be thrown when it turns out it's Nick Lachey, unless you saw the previews for this.
Okay. Elise called Phoebe and is like, okay, so the ghostwriter I wanted to hire is in town and is free. I want you to meet them. And Phoebe's like, don't you think I should have a say in who you hire? And she's like, yes, come here and meet the ghostwriter. And Phoebe's like, I'm too busy.
What do you
Choose
want?
a lane, Phoebe. But she does agree to come down and meet the ghostwriter. But first, she has to learn the terrible consequences of Leo and Piper having sex.
Yes. Okay. So, Shakti and Shiva are two Hindu gods that are commonly invoked in weddings, and they're celestial lovers, and if they ever have sex, the universe will explode. Which, I had a no bullshit guide to mythology, which was really, really funny at the time. I'm not sure how it's aged. But it does sound like something I read in that, so...
Okay. I was actually thinking this is like the ghost lovers in the Buffy episode.
Oh, I Only Have Eyes for You.
Yeah. Because the idea seems to be that they float around as gods looking for bodies to possess so they can have sex and end the universe. Which honestly, I'm surprised hasn't happened.
I
can't believe that never happened.
Yeah, Paige is all, maybe there were never mystical lovers at a Hindu ceremony for them to overshadow before. And I'm like,
really?
Really? Like, yeah, there have never been witches at a Hindu ceremony before. That seems unlikely.
Oh, Paige also says, I just need to bring this up because it's such a terrible line that it circles back around to making me laugh.
Yeah.
Talk about your Big Bang Theory.
Yeah, because if they have sex, the universe will end and then be reborn.
Which is how the universe started.
Yeah, with Shakti and Shiva doing it.
Yep.
But there's a bit where she's like, I forget who says it, but one of them is like, why did it happen to them? And the other one's like, why does anything happen to anyone? It always all happens to us. Which reminds me of a bit in the comic strip Sherman's Lagoon.
Uh-huh.
Which is about a bunch of sea animals who live in a lagoon.
Uh-huh.
Where one of the characters is talking about a horde of carnivorous shrimp that's heading in their direction. And one of the other characters is like, I'm sorry, why does whenever something very bizarre is happening, it heads this way? Are we on an incline or something? Like, why does everything head this way? But, it's because you're the central character of a narrative, yeah.
Alright, so Phoebe and Paige race downstairs to cockblock their sister.
Yeah, because, actually, I guess they gave the extras Holly Marie Combs' wrist tattoos. In the very obvious hand-slapping thing where she and Phoebe are slapping each other because Phoebe is stopping her from doinking Leo.
Oh, so they tell them what's going on.
They're like, this isn't the first time we've been hijacked by gods. Just fight your baser instincts and, sit quietly and wait for it to go away.
Leo's like, I'm sorry, but I just feel so potent. I have to fuck my wife. And Phoebe is like, I'm sorry, TMI. And I'm like, you are so in their business all the time. You don't get to call TMI, girl.
Like, you were the one who tried to get him to go to the wedding so the two of them would re-hook up again. But, yeah, they decide to redirect Leo's horniness into trying to kill Barbas, and Leo lightning teleports away.
He's like, great idea! And Paige is going to bring the kids over to magic school so that they're safe, which is kind of funny.
Yeah.
Because they were just... anyway.
Yeah, and Piper's like, no, leave the baby with me, the mother goddess. And Phoebe's like, I have to go to work!
Oh, okay. I don't even understand why this happens, because down in hell, Barbas is, summoned a bunch of lower-level demons to help him steal the baby. But again, this is a scene that is not necessary.
Well, it's so that Piper can show off her cool new god powers.
I guess. Anyway, yeah, he summoned a bunch of demons, and it's like, hey, I just had a great idea that no one's ever had before. If we get the baby, it'll make it easier for us to go after the charmed ones.
What if a bunch of us attack at once? Sure,
Demons are not brain trusts, are they?
They really aren't. Although, honestly, Barbas can just talk about whatever and,
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Also, he says that, like, this is their chance because the Charmed One's elder is distracted, so I guess all witches have their own individual elders now.
They always have. Oh, they're elder. I think it's because they have an elder instead of a white lighter. But basically, his point is that once they steal the baby, Leo will go to pieces, and then there will be no white lighter protecting the Charmed Ones. Because the elders are really asleep on the job when it comes to getting white lighters to watch over them.
Seriously, we've talked about it before, but they should each have their own individual white lighter. But also, yeah, the sisters kind of became, I don't want to say really lazy about getting injured, but, once healing kind of entered the equation, everyone gets mortally wounded a lot more than they did before. They could just, which I guess makes sense.
Yeah, you would be. You would be a little laxer about your own safety. They want to know, the lower level demons want to know why they should take plans from a floating head. And Barbas says that the floating head has cloaked the lair so Leo can't find him. So in at least that way he's proven his loyalties, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
So At the school, Paige and Wyatt eating a pretzel orb in.
And Paige is like, oh my god, is this an arc for me? Is this a story I could have? Thank God, because I quit the other one and I need a new story arc.
Yeah, for the next, 4 episodes? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so they're shutting down magic school now that Gideon's dead because apparently Gideon was the only person keeping magic school open.
Okay, the teacher, the kindergarten teacher, says, you know about Gideon, love him or hate him, he's the one who kept this school going. And I'm like, love him or hate him? Who is professing to love the elder who betrayed the Charmed Ones and tried to steal their baby?
Well, hey, he tried to kill their baby.
It should be regardless of the evil he did, he's the one who kept the school running. Not love him or hate. He's not a divisive figure that people can't agree on.
I mean, I don't know. I don't approve of his Wyatt murdering policy, but I do approve of his Chris murdering policy.
I was actually going to quote that tweet, that viral tweet. It turns out you absolutely do not have to hand it to Hitler.
Yes. I mean, Gideon was no Hitler, though. I mean, he just tried to kill one baby.
Alright, let's move on.
I mean, honestly, I don't approve of his Chris killing policy, but, like, if you were his coworker, and honestly, if he was the guy who had been keeping you employed for the last century or whatever, and then, like, you find out after the fact that he tried to kill a baby and got super murdered for it, I don't think that would necessarily override all of your good memories of him.
Apparently not!
Love him or hate him, he only tried to kill one baby. I was going to say he only tried to kill one baby once, but he tried to kill that one baby a lot.
Alright.
But, I mean, he wasn't even good at killing a baby. Come on. How bad could he be?
So Phoebe has gone...
Unsuccessful child murderer Gideon.
Attempted infanticide. Okay, back to Phoebe.
Yes, Phoebe is back at the office. It feels weird that they have art prints hanging on the walls. I mean, I guess it's a normal thing for an office, but It feels weird for a newspaper.
Yeah, it's a normal thing. So she goes to meet the ghostwriter Leslie, and she's like, wait, you're a man? She's like, only women can give advice. But then she shakes his hand and is immediately hit with, like, super horniness empathy.
Yeah, well, Paige mentioned earlier, like, when she looked up Shakti and Shiva, she's like, be careful because their horniness is catching. Which...
Okay.
In this one scene, and then it doesn't factor into the rest of the episode at all. Like, it really feels like the whole Shakti and Shiva thing should have been the central plot of an episode.
That's what I'm saying. Everything in this episode seems secondary.
But
Okay, so
Okay, so what's gonna win? Phoebe's misandry or her mystical horniness?
okay, I can't even focus on that question because she tells Leslie, this guy's name is Leslie. She tells Leslie that
So it's shocking that it's a man, even though we find out immediately.
also it's totally a gender neutral name.
Yeah.
Anyway, she says that I'm sorry, can you go back a little bit?
Are you talking about the fact that one of her folders is called "Call the Police"?
Yes! I'm sorry. I just noticed that she has her advice letters categorized into different folders, presumably based on, like, urgency, and one of them is called Call the Police.
That's fantastic, and that's a little detail. They didn't have to add that. That's fun.
That is fun. Okay, you know what's not fun?
Sexual harassment.
We're not there yet.
Oh, okay. What's not fun?
Dr. Phil, who is an abuser and a con man, and hey, guess what? Not a doctor.
Yes.
So, I mean, he was a doctor. His license revoked. He's not licensed. Anyway, because
Phoebe's talking about how men can't give advice.
and Leslie's genius comeback is, "What about Dr. Phil?" And I'd be like, okay,
What about
point made, because he's terrible.
I mean, why not just invoke Maury Povich?
Ugh. Anyway,
I mean, he doesn't have the same touch of class that
he doesn't have the beneficence of Oprah's aura, which is what kept Dr. Phil going.
Yeah, Dr. Phil had cred because he was, an Oprah person, which I bet she regrets now. But yeah, I don't know. Dr. Phil, Dr. Oz, I don't really know if there's any Dan Savage. I don't know if there's any advice columnist who's a dude who's beyond reproach. Not that I would call Dr. Phil or Dr. Oz advice columnists.
Yeah, they're definitely not. So even that Leslie's wrong about. I mean, there are
Dan Savage was active at this time. No one would have got it, but you could have referenced him.
there are decent male advice columnists, like
Daniel Lavery.
yes. I was actually yes. Dr. Nerdlove, amazing advice columnist.
Wilbur Weston from Mary Worth.
Oh, no one's going to top that. Let's talk about sexual harassment in the workplace.
Yes, because Phoebe's like, no filthy, dirty, sexy man could possibly write advice like a woman can. And she's like circling Nick Lachey, staring at his ass. And then she just grabs him and starts making out with him. And Elise is like, well, that's pretty par for the course.
I know, right? This is not new for Phoebe. This is like literally exactly what went down with Jason Dean.
I love how how Phoebe stalks out of the office, then turns back, grabs her purse, and stalks out of the office again. That's a great bit of stage business. And Leslie's like, I guess I got the job. Dude, be more upset. That's sexual harassment. Come on, man. Phoebe's right. Men can't be advice columnists.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, a bunch of demons are attacking Piper, and she's killing them with a combination of her explodey powers and lightning from her extra arms.
Yeah.
Seems like a little hat on a hat, but why have both? But
Barbas shows up, because while these demons are distracting Piper, he's going to steal the baby. And I have to say, he's looking at the baby like, haha, I get to steal the baby. But I also feel like he's looking at Piper kind of admiringly, like, wow, she leveled up.
Yeah.
And then she blasts him, and I swear, he still is like, wow, impressive.
Yeah. Also, dude, you can go into invisible mode. This would have been the time to go into invisible mode.
No, because he doesn't really care about getting the baby. He cares about making them paranoid.
Wow, that's kind of shooting fish in a barrel, making the charmed ones paranoid.
But yeah, she blasts him and then he flames away. Okay. So Phoebe comes in and Paige is like, Phoebe, something really important happened while you were gone. And Phoebe's like, I can't listen to you. Elise hired a man, and she just keeps going off about it. And finally, Paige is able to break in and be like, Barbara came to the house and tried to steal Chris.
And Phoebe's like, is he after my job too? Is he going to start giving advice? Is Barbas going to become the demon of advice?
I'd read that.
Yeah, I would read that too. Have you ever even heard of a male advice column? Have you ever even heard of a male advice columnist? Yes, Phoebe. Remember they tried to get you to work with one, and then you turned him into a pig or something.
Yeah, there have been male advice columnists in this very show. Whatever.
Yes, Paige tells Phoebe that Barbas tried to kidnap Chris, and Phoebe says, Paige, that's not funny. Why would you think that was a joke?
What about your lives make you think that that is not a very real possibility? A thing that is actually happening?
So Leo comes back from an unsuccessful Barbas hunt right after Phoebe's like, don't let Leo know about it, because then he'll go extra strength crazy.
And of course he walks up and is like, don't let me know what. And Phoebe's like, how much Piper wants to fuck you? I'm sorry, Phoebe. I thought that was TMI.
So Leo's going to go upstairs and fuck Piper.
Even though that's going to end the world.
But as soon as he gets upstairs, he notices that clearly a demon battle happened.
What was Phoebe's plan?
Yeah, like...
It was destined to fall apart, like, within 10 seconds.
Yeah, why would you even let him go upstairs? Okay, so they're explaining what the situation is to Leo about the whole, like, coordinated demon attack on Chris. Inspector Sheridan kicks down the front door with her gun drawn, and she's like, I'm gonna get some answers because Phoebe missed the
appointment that she received a subpoena to go to, even though that's not how that works at all?
Yeah, so I'm going to find out what they're up to, and you're either with me or against me. She runs upstairs with her gun out. I mean, this is some exceptionally terrible police work.
Honestly, it feels to me like a giant plot hole that Sheridan is not actually a demon.
Seriously. What is her deal? She bursts into a room and points a gun at Phoebe and Paige, and she's like, freeze, put your hands up. And Leo just telekinetically throws her into a wall, which
is the correct thing to do.
Why would you point your gun at them and scream freeze? They weren't doing anything. Freeze, you're standing in a room.
Yeah.
Seriously, what the fuck is Inspector Sheridan's deal?
The fact that she's not either evil or being mind controlled by someone evil is just outlandish. Alright, so back on the Golden Gate Bridge, Barbas shows up and he does literally the exact same trick he did before, where he shows up and then gets Leo to chase him there and then disappears so that Leo will fight with the Elder, who doesn't know that Barbas was there because he has no, like, awareness of the space around him.
Like, come on, man. Also, you know what Barbas' whole...
But this time, nobody stops him, and he kills the Elder.
Yeah, Leo lightning bolts the Elder to death, which... Wah, wah.
I bet that Elder feels pretty dumb for not reporting the attempted murder to the other Elders.
Why would he go back to the Golden Gate Bridge? If someone attempted to murder you there, don't go there anymore.
And just stand there, facing the water, not paying attention to anything happening behind you.
So celestial beings are just constantly hanging out on the top of the Golden Gate Bridge.
Good to know. So, back at magic school, Leo is on the floor, all distraught.
Having a big sad because he murdered another Elder. And Piper's just kind of standing there awkwardly over him.
Well, I mean, she's standing awkwardly because she's trying to conceal the two people behind her who are pretending to be her arms.
Yeah. So Paige is like, luckily we found a god dismissal spell in this random magic school book. So she reads it out, and the magic god powers leave Piper and Leo. Congratulations, that was barely a subplot and did not factor into the episode at all.
Seriously, when Paige walks in, Piper's like, just do the spell. And then she tells Paige to go find Barbas now. they couldn't find him before because the lair was cloaked, but now that he has been wounded by Piper, they can use the blood to scry for him, and I like that. That works for me. And once Paige is gone, Piper is like, "Don't worry, Leo, we won't tell anyone else that you killed an elder. We'll just hide it forever. Ride or die.
Yeah.
I'll get the shovel." Except we don't even need to because you made him not exist.
Like, I do genuinely like the Piper and Leo relationship.
Yeah.
They spend a lot of time. Honestly, I feel like they kind of spend a lot less time fighting now than they used to, which is nice.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's weird because during their honeymoon period, they were fighting constantly. But now that they're quasi-separated, their relationship seems weirdly much stronger.
It's like Dr. Cox and Jordan on Scrubs, where they had to stay divorced to stay together.
Yeah, their relationship only worked when they were divorced.
Okay, back at the manor, a medic is checking on Sheridan and making sure she doesn't have a concussion since she got thrown into a wall. And the medic is like, "Do you remember what happened to you?" And Phoebe's like, "She slipped. She slipped and fell. She hit her eye on a doorknob. She's so clumsy, you know? Like, be more suspicious, Phoebe. Jesus."
And Inspector Sheridan's like, "I don't know. I don't remember what happened."
Oh.
Ugh.
But none of that matters because Paige is here with the vanquishing spell, or the vanquishing potion rather, and they're going to go vanquish Barbas.
This is a new thing for Barbas, right? A vanquishing potion? Because before, didn't you just have to overcome your fears to defeat him?
Oh.
I don't know. Maybe a vanquishing potion would work. Maybe they're going to try actually vanquishing him this time instead of just being like, yeah, he's probably dead.
I do like Barbas because he's like down in his lair and he's like, "Hey, floating head, can you bring me the witches so that I can fight them now?" And Paige and Phoebe orb into his lair and he is like, "Wow, vision boards work!"
Yeah, he's like, "You guys aren't supposed to be here. This place is supposed to be warded." And Phoebe's like, "Yeah, you should probably ask your invisible friends why they unwarded it." And he's like, "I probably should ask them."
So he stands off with the sisters and he's like, "All right, let me make you feel your biggest fear. Oh, your biggest fear is that I will kill your nephews. Ha ha, you are now paralyzed with fear. I mean, what are you going to do? Kill me?"
Yeah, like, he's like, "Remember my whole thing? Fear paralyzes you?" And then Paige's like, "Nah." And she throws the potion. He's like, "Wait, what?" And they're like, "Yeah, our greatest desire overpowered our greatest fear, and our greatest desire was to defeat you." And Barbas is, exploding, and he's like, "I'm gonna be back! I'm really popular! People like me a lot! This isn't gonna be the end for me, Barbas."
Okay, I do like this, though. I like when he's like, the fear can't work to manipulate them because it lines up with what they want to do. I like when spells kind of come back against you in that manner.
But yeah, he explodes, and Phoebe's like, "So, do you think his invisible friend is related to that great power that's rising?" And Paige is like, "No, probably. Sure, why not?"
So Phoebe,
But who gives a shit about that? Phoebe's at work.
again. And even though she's supposedly on sabbatical, she's in the office like 3 days in a row, which she never is when she's supposed to be working. And she just wants to tell Nick Lachey that she read his article, his advice column, and it was pretty good. And also, don't get any ideas that she kissed you for any reason. She is not gonna bone you.
I would be more nervous if I was Phoebe, because remember, like, she got the job when the woman who was doing the advice column before her got possessed by demons, and she had to fill in for her so she wouldn't get fired, but then Elise liked her writing better, so she got the job.
Well, I was thinking about that, but Elise did say that that Leslie is moving to LA in a couple of months, and he just wants a temp job, so this is actually perfect. So, works okay.
But yeah, Phoebe tells Leslie that despite his maleness, he managed to write a halfway competent column. So she's pretty sure he won't completely tank her reputation in the next 2 months. And he's like, "Hey, Even though you didn't mean anything by it, even though it didn't mean anything, it still felt really good when you shoved your tongue down my throat.
And then she walks away smiling. Like,
a handsome man gave her a compliment.
So, back at the manor, Paige is like, hey, Piper, I think I have my character arc for a little while. I'm gonna go run magic school.
Yeah, she's like, I don't think it's fair that the elders are going to shut down magic school. And Piper's like, I barely care about this, Paige. And Paige is like, I think I'm going to run magic school. And
She's like, you know, my thing is I'm the one who actually likes magic. I know your thing is you're the one who hates magic, so I don't know why I'm having this conversation with you instead of Phoebe, whose thing was that she liked magic before I came, and then my thing became that I like magic, so now her thing has to be she writes an advice column. I used to be fat, but now I have nephews.
Yes.
To quote a show that very few people have watched, but they should. It's The Other Two. You should watch it.
Oh, yeah. If you haven't watched The Other Two, you definitely need to. It's so good. So Piper has overcome her fear of taking the boys outside, which probably would have meant more if she hadn't taken Chris to a wedding halfway through this episode.
Yeah, being a mother goddess has made her realize that she is a mother goddess, I think.
Yeah. Sharing a body with the ultimate mother gave me a few mothering tips, like the fact that they have to go out in the world eventually, and Wyatt's fucking immortal, so who gives a shit? I mean, Chris isn't, but it's just Chris. It's the heir and the spare if the spare didn't matter at all, and the heir was an immortal god being. Meanwhile, Leo's still going through it.
Yeah, he is down in Barbas's lair, like
fingering his ashes,
investigating the ashes. Like, is he really vanquished? Is he really gone? And then the Avatar shows up and is like, you know, Barbas isn't the only thing that wants to kill your kid. Lots of things want to kill your kid. Come, join me.
Yeah, Leo's like, what do you want? And the giant floaty head thing's like, we want you! Which, not really doing a great job selling, you know, your whole thing. But, yeah. I actually like this episode a fair amount. It feels weird to say because of the whole weird, culturally insensitive, probably, you know, Shakti and Shiva thing.
But it doesn't matter because that's barely in the episode.
It's barely a plot. It affects almost nothing. But,
okay, wait. But do you know what next week is?
Yes, I do know. It is The Bear Witch Project. I was kind of dreading season 7 because we're in the area between Chris and Billy, two characters who, well, I know Billy was widely beloathed, but I actually don't really know what
I like Billy. I feel like she gets a bad rap.
Yeah, she's not Kennedy.
But no, the Bear Witch Project, the Peacock summary is, the Charmed Ones must protect Lady Godiva so she can go back in time and complete her famous ride.
Otherwise, feminism will never happen. That's not in the description, but that's the plot of that episode.
Also, it gives us our first look at Elder John Delancey.
Ooh.
Yeah. Which we'll talk about when we do our Welcome to the Q Continuum podcast.
Are we going to re-go over all of the...
No, we'll just mention it.
But, yeah, no, I'm excited. I'm excited for this.
Yeah, me too. Oh, but...
Yeah, you know what? Season 7 does have some bangers.
Okay, listen, I'm just gonna read off some titles that we have coming up.
Ooh.
Yes. Okay.
This is the season with PMS werewolves.
Yes, it is.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, but... Okay, I wanted to save this one for last, but I can't. It's just too funny. Charmed.
Oh my god.
The pirate episode. Charmed.
Oh my god. Yes, Charmed.
Oh, I wanted to save that one for last, but I can't. It's too funny.
The Bear Witch Project, which is next week.
Little Box of Horrors.
Oh, that's the fake Buffy one, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's the fake Buffy one.
Freaky Phoebe.
Oh my god, who does she switch by? Oh, is that the one with the ugliest demon in the underworld?
Yes.
Oh my god. You know what? I am excited for this season. The Avatar stuff is boring as all get out, and Paige gets... I mean, yeah, Paige gets Paige plots, but...
Also, they thought season 7 was going to be the final season. They didn't know they were going to get a season 8.
Something Wicca this way goes.
I think that was so clever, right?
Yeah.
But too bad it wasn't actually the finale.
Wah, wah. Although we get Billy. And honestly, I think Forever Charmed is a better series finale than Something Wicked This Way Goes.
It is.
Like, it's not great because Holly Marie Combs is literally the only member of the main cast who shows up for it. But you know what?
No, but the resolution is way better.
So yeah, that'll about do it for this week. Much like the Charmed ones, we have our own power of 3. The first power in our pack is Premonition, who in this episode is, was, or will become famous. We do actually have 2.
Yeah, we talked a lot about Nick Lachey, but we have not mentioned that the elder who was murdered was James Avery.
Yeah.
Otherwise known as...
Shredder.
I was going to say Uncle Phil from
Yeah.
Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, but yes. Yes, he is also the voice of Shredder in the animated Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle cartoon.
From the 90s.
That is accurate.
I feel like I have to clarify because I feel like they do one every, 2 years now.
They seriously do.
It isn't obviously Scooby-Doo, which has been running consistently since the 60s. But,
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles has continued for a long time.
it really weirdly ended up being a concept with legs. Which you kind of wouldn't think, given that it was sort of a parody of the grim and gritty comics of the 80s. And it's also a ripoff of Daredevil.
It's not a ripoff of Daredevil.
It's a series of homages to Daredevil. He was trained by a guy named Stick. They're trained by a rat named Splinter. They got their radioactive thing, stuff that gave them their turtle powers is the same accident that blinded Matt Murdock. Read the comics. It literally is. He fights the hand. They fight the foot.
Yeah.
It's not subtle. But, it's a fun thing you could do, especially if you're, an indie comic done by some guy who has no idea that he's about to start a franchise that will span decades.
That is actually kind of weird to think about. I enjoy the franchise, so, yeah, thinking about some guy just making an underground comic in the 80s and how huge that's going to get. With a theme song written by Chuck Lorre for some reason.
Yeah. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. The guy who did 2.5 Men wrote this. Turtle power.
Alright. Yeah, that's our premonition.
Yeah. Next is Time Freeze. What specifically dated this episode? I'm going to say Dr. Phil. I know he was around for longer than this, but this was when he was in his heyday, so to speak.
Yeah, I feel like we've realized how terrible he is at this point. Hopefully. Hopefully no one would comment on him as something to aspire to without getting any pushback from the narrative.
Yeah.
Although he also shows up in Crazy Ex-Girlfriend.
Yeah. There's a couple of things from Crazy Ex-Girlfriend that aged poorly almost immediately. Although there's no way that, Rachel Bloom could have known that. I mean, maybe the Elon Musk thing.
I feel like she should have known about Dr. Phil, but that's okay. It's
Yeah.
okay. Moving on.
Yeah, the final power in our pack is telekinesis. What, if anything, genuinely moved you?
Piper's ride or die with Leo when she's like, we're just not going to tell anyone. And
Yeah.
she's comforting him and she's like, we will handle this. I will take care of it.
Yeah, her nobody needs to know bit is really good. And it reminds you why you like these characters together. Even when they're in this weird ambiguous space, the two of them are each other's ride or die.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I think that's about it. We will see you next time for the Bear Witch Project.
Yes! Get it? Because she's bare. Because she's naked.
Yeah, if you want to see Alyssa Milano kind of naked on a horse for about 4 seconds at the end of an episode.
That wig covers more than her normal outfits cover, so.
It really does. It should be called the Cousin It Witch Project.
Oh, so that'll do it for this week.
Mm-hmm.
Our show is partially listener-supported. If you want to be one of those supporters, head over to our website, www.welcometotelevision.net, and click on our Patreon link. We'd also like to thank our current $5 and above patrons, Beryl, Patricia, Rosa, Ryan, Maricruz, Benjamin, Kate, Jen, Dan, Anthony, Daniel, and Hippolyta.
If you'd like to support the show in other ways, you could always rate and review us on Apple Podcasts. It helps other people find the show.
If you want to talk about this episode or any episode of any television show, you can email us at ilovetelevisionzines@gmail.com, or you can find us on Blue Sky at Welcome to Television, where I am also, I've started just reviewing the TV tie-in novels that I'm reading, so check that out too.
Yeah, I've really been enjoying you talking about the Buffy novels, of which there are many.
Of which I own many. I spent way too much money on Charmed novels over in December when I found a whole trove of them at Powell's Used Books. Seriously, I was checking out with this massive stack of Charmed books. Somebody must have cleaned out their closet or something and donated them all.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely what happened when I left for college and got rid of all of my Charmed tie-in novels, of which I had more than a few.
I literally just reached into the shelf and just pulled out 10 books and brought them all to check out. So if you recently donated a bunch of Charmed novels to Powell's, thank you.
Yeah.
They're mine now.
So until next time, I'm Max.
And I'm Tina.
And this has been Welcome to the Halliwell Manor.